Hi folks, Puffin here. Welcome to the Peace Pipe Party. Welcome to the Pillow Revolution. And welcome to the Undercloud Railroad. These things are all concepts that are woven together but are coming more tightly together. Everything's come full circle now. When Trump still is somehow not arrested, Putin somehow still is in power, and we haven't reversed a lot of the things that have been going on recently. Peace Pipe Party is about two things. Started it 20, 30 years ago. And it's about two different things: peace and pot, peace and weed, marijuana, herb. Legalizing weed and fully pursuing peace, world peace, will save the world. It'll save our country and it'll save the world. And that's from energy to um, productivity to health to every field that we have. Weed can do something in. It's like money that grows on trees, but it's also medicine, entertainment, and material for energy production and material things. It's for everything. So it's kind of like a magic plant that it's like a magic wand that we can wave and save the world. Now, peace, of course, is a top priority. The Pillow Revolution is all about the victory of peace over war entirely. That means no more war, peace wins. Now, we're not going to win war with a big war. We're going to win against war by showing that war doesn't work anymore, which has pretty much been shown in Afghanistan by the USA and is being shown now in Ukraine by Putin. It doesn't work anymore. It's just destruction. It's just bad. It's all bad. The bads so far outweigh any potential good that it's not necessary. Anything you could have done with war in the past, you can now do with what Joe Biden calls a new economic statecraft, meaning the sanctions they're using against Putin. If Putin had a legitimate complaint, he could have rallied the world to put sanctions on against the person he's complaining against. But he didn't. He's just lying. So the way this is coming out is it's not just going to show that this is a folly of a war, it's going to show that war is folly and we don't need it anymore. And anybody who even entertains the idea of war is just wasting our time at this point. Now, I also have a hashtag Puffin for president because I'll be your president. If no one else is willing to say they'll arrest Trump, I'll arrest Trump. I mean, Trump is Putin's USA invader. He's the one holding us to that ancient war energy economy. No oil, no war. That's how it works. You get rid of oil, you get rid of war. It's the same interests behind both, and it's the same goal to hold us to the past or destroy us all versus letting us progress to the future. Now, Puffin for president, I'll be glad to be your president, be honored to be your president. Thank you so much. But if somebody better than me takes up the same call to arrest Trump, because that's the third plank we're adding. There's peace and there's pot, and we're adding the plank of arrest Trump, and we're going to make him walk that plank because him and his Trump Putiners are trying to destroy the country still, and Joe Biden hasn't done enough to do it. To stop it. So if anybody is willing to take up that call and say I will arrest Trump instead of me having to say it, if they're also for peace and pot and other good leftist things, which they all go together, so they will be. If basically a Bernie or AOC decides to run or somebody like that and says they'll arrest Trump, if Stacey Abrams decides to run and says she'll arrest Trump, then they'll get the support of the Peace Pipe Party. So that's how this works. We're going to shift everything to the left where it should be. Remember when Jill Stein said that Bernie could have the Green Party ticket and become president, the first Green president? Well, I kind of wish we'd skipped over the timeline where he did that and we didn't go through any of the last 6 years of stuff we've been through. But we didn't, although we can make up for it now. And I'll do the same thing. If Bernie or AOC or somebody else, because AOC would be just old enough, like a miracle, to run, then hashtag AOC24, then I'll hand it over to them. But the Peace Pipe Party is all about peace and pot and now about arresting Trump. Why do you have to arrest Trump? Because he's Putin's puppet, which Biden called him to his face. So if Biden's serious about the words he's saying that Putin cannot remain in power, he shouldn't allow Putin's puppet in America, his number one USA invader, or any of the Trump Putineers in America, to remain in any sort of power. They shouldn't have TV shows. They shouldn't have congressional seats or Senate seats. They shouldn't have judges' benches. They shouldn't have cops' uniforms. They shouldn't be in military uniforms. And they shouldn't be in Mar-a-Lago. So we'll take care of that. But the big point that brings all this together now with the Undercloud Railroad is We have to help people get to a place where weed is legal. That's kind of like the way it's like the old Underground Railroad, to get people out of states where they use terrible drug laws against weed to enslave people to places where it's legal and free. It's a whole nother world. It's just like the North and South back in the day. So we have to help people get to places, but better than that, we have to make all places weed legal. Now, in the Trump virus era, because Trump is the one, Trump, Bolsonaro, and Modi, three Putin puppets picked by Facebook, so we need to arrest Zuckerberg too and nationalize Facebook. But three Putin puppets picked by Facebook, hashtag nationalize Facebook, all spread the same lies to make Trump virus into a genocide. They did that intentionally. They tried to kill as many of us as they possibly could, and they had great success in murdering 6 million people worldwide, over 1 million people in America. They need to be held accountable for that. But another development is that now we're living with Trump virus. Omicron variants come out. Hopefully there won't be any more variants. But instead of trying to vaccinate anybody else who's hesitant to it, and keep this in mind, Russia has 40% of their population anti-vaccine. America has 30%, again, thanks to Putin and Trump. And no other country has over 10 or 11%. It's because we're the ones who fell for that the most, or the most inundated. We're so shocked and surprised that Putin can insulate the Russian people from the truth about Ukraine. But look what they did to all these QAnon terrorists in America. They insulated them from the truth. And we've got to break through that. So the Pillow Revolution is about overcoming that with peace and pot. Because war is obviously wrong. And these Republicans have always been on the side of war. These Trump Putiners have always been on the side of war. They're always wrong. But pot is also right. And if we're going to live with the Trump virus now, if it's just going to be a new, stronger strain of flu, then they've admitted recently one thing about it, that weed, pot, marijuana, stops the body from receiving the virus, stops cells, protects cells from the virus. It's a form of protection against the virus. So, if that's the case, I believe there's still a law that says if it's for your health, you can break the law. It's already effectively legal. Now, we need some judges to get some precedent on that, but it's already effectively legal to smoke weed no matter where you are in America because it's for your health. They've admitted that it helps your health in this extended pandemic to be able to have THC in your system to protect against the Trump virus. So this is the way that the Undercloud Railroad and Pillow Revolution all come together. Pillow Revolution is simply we're doing this from bed. It's not a violent revolution. We're overcoming the warlike powers with peaceful actions such as videos and comments and things like that. And we are going to overcome them and overthrow them using the internet to the capacity that we've long dreamed it would have. Pot is something good for everybody, but in this case, particularly good in this pandemic. And we have this legal loophole to make it legal. So we need to make it legal instead of relying on a loophole, because it's not something anybody needs to be ashamed of. It's something we need to be proud of, to go forward and say, hey, we're going to save the world with this plant, with these policies, with peace and pot, and arrest Trump. So thanks for watching and sharing. Love you forever. Save Ukraine. Save Ukraine by showing Putin we're not Putin up with this stuff anymore. Arrest Trump. Arrest the Trump Putineers. No more excuses. We found out he used burner phones. We found out he just once again asked Putin to dig up dirt on the Bidens. Like, he's still trying his insurrection. He's still completely pro-Putin. Everybody else in the world is against Putin. So why hasn't that registered to arrest Trump yet? It's time. It's long overdue. But as soon as you do it, we can move on and talk about something else, which we need to do. We got a lot of other stuff to do. So let's save the world. Peace and pot. Arrest Trump. Arrest Putin. Let's finish this. Thanks for watching and sharing. Love you forever. See you soon.